Many states recently voted to amend their constitutions and redefine marriage as a union only between a man and a woman. In Utah, it was called Amendment 3, and before the vote, some warned it would ostracize many in our state.
Carole Mikita joins us now with a look at a new book about same-gender attraction. Carole.
Published by Deseret Book, In Quiet Desperation, is a breakthrough faith-based work written by 3 Latter-day Saints, parents of a young man who committed suicide because of this attraction, and another young man who is searching for peace inside a faith where he feels there's great misunderstanding. Stuart Mattis, handsome, bright, successful, served a Latter-day Saint mission, part of a loving family. But in February 2000, at age 32, he killed himself. For 20 years, he suffered with what he called a challenge, same-gender attraction.
He was faithful and active and going to the temple and involved in church. How could he be gay?
He kept his secret from his parents for most of his life, confused and ashamed.
He said, "You know why I never have told you that I love you?" He said,
"Because I have never allowed myself to express my feelings to anyone."
They hugged and kissed their son and told him they understood, but that was only 2 years before his suicide. In his last letter, Stuart said he could no longer live with his feelings and how others in society and in his church viewed those feelings. The Mattises then lived in California, and Stuart fell into deep depression over the debate on Proposition 22 about gays and marriage.
It was because of the attitude and atmosphere that was created around it by people who didn't understand and said hurtful, hateful things in Stuart's presence.
The tragedy, the Mattises say, brought them to spiritual understanding they never imagined. Now they have written a book sharing Stuart's story and reaching out to other young people like him who want to stay in their faith but find acceptance. Their stories are heart-wrenching.
"Don't come into my house. Don't come around my children. Don't come around," and that's happened. When we're together as family, we don't want you around here because you're gay. Well, my goodness, what kind of a thing is that? This challenge is so dominant in their life. They think about it 24/7. They're always thinking about this challenge, and what we've tried to get them to do is to push that challenge away. In other words, to take and realize it's only part of who you are, that this isn't who you are, this is a feeling you have.
Ty Mansfield is one of those who reached out to the Mattises. He too is a faithful Latter-day Saint, returned missionary. He works for a defense contract consulting company in Washington, D.C. It was only a few years ago that he told family and friends. They reached out with love.
That was a huge factor, in addition to feeling that love from God, that helped me to get over that feeling of evil. Because I grew up thinking that if I was to be really honest about this, that's what I would be admitting. And I was afraid to admit that, and so I was in denial for a long time.
As he wrote about his own life experience, he expressed his feelings through his faith, prayers, scripture study, and what he calls seeking the Spirit. What is your hope with this book?
Those who deal with this can gain a sense of their worth, and that it might eliminate some of the self-hatred. My other hope is that those in the church will be a little bit more willing to spontaneously open their hearts to love rather than to condemn.
Do you feel that you truly have a place in this faith without people judging you?
Even if I don't marry, if I don't feel like that's something that I'm able to do in the future, I feel like there's still a definite place for me and for everybody.
Ty Mansfield and the Mattises say they hope to help parents understand and to stop young people who have same-gender attraction from wanting to take their own lives. They believe it's possible to stay in the faith and find acceptance. In Quiet Desperation is on sale now at Deseret Book.